What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Team Member Perspective Podcast Show. I'm Colter, your host, and excited to talk a little bit about the setup for the sell. What you do in your conversations, what to include in your conversations to build all of this value so that when you bring up the price, when you tell them what the offer is, there's all this value to back it up. And the ideal outcome here is that you've built so much value that your customer sees that price or they hear that price from you and they think, oh my gosh, I'm getting all of that for this price. And boom, you close the deal. And so, we're going to talk about this setup and different things and elements to include in your conversations to actually build value. Because we hear that thrown around a lot in the insurance space. You need to build value. You need to sell value. Instead of just selling off of price, you need to sell off of value. But because it's thrown around so much like that, I think we don't really internalize it and actually use it to our advantage. And the reason I wanted to do this podcast and talk about what you can do to set yourself up, to set up the sell, is because, at our weekly training meetings, honestly, a lot of your conversations just aren't that great. And I'm not saying that to be rude or anything, but I'm just saying that because a lot of you need to hear this. Your conversations suck. You're not giving the customer a reason to want what you're offering. You're not giving them, the information that they need to be able to see that, oh my gosh, I actually need this coverage. You're not being persuasive. You're not being influential. And so I thought, what a better way than to teach you guys a framework that you can use to be more persuasive, to be more convincing in your conversations. Because ultimately, I want you to sell more. I want to see you guys crushing your production. But I find that because we generalize so many of these things, building value, that we don't actually know what to do. And I am a big fan of the details. I like to know what people are saying, how they're saying it. I was always, as a team member, I was always taught what to do. All right? Hey, Colter, if they've got a mortgage on a home, guess what? Talk to them about life insurance to pay that mortgage off and disability insurance to make the monthly payment. It works really well. But what do you think my next question was? I'm getting excited about this. Like anytime I got a customer with a mortgage, I'm trying to talk to them about life insurance to pay that thing off, disability to make monthly payment. But guess what? I was just hearing, oh no, I'm good. I'm just good with my homeowner's insurance. I was getting these objections and I just didn't know how to move through them. I was always taught what to do, but not how to do it. And so my hope is that in this podcast episode, we can cover some ground as far as what to do. Sorry, not what to do, but how to do it. What to include in your conversation to set yourself up for the sell. And so, guys, again, this is a framework. This allows you to have some sort of a checklist with each interaction that you have with a current customer and you're trying to sell more policies, increase coverage for them or upsell them, or for prospective customers that, we're trying to build value and help them see why they should come with us and all of this stuff that they're getting with us for this small price. So it's a thinking framework. And my goal, in the insurance industry, it's kind of funny. Everybody wants the scripts. Everybody wants the word tracks, the talk paths, which I think are good. Scripts are good as long as they're proven to work. We use scripts in our training because it gives team members a place to start. But it's not just any place to start. It's like literally, if you just plug into this, it's going to work for you. But as you get more experienced, you're going to want to make that your own. You're going to want to, after you've replicated it, after you've gotten results of how it's laid out and you've followed it exactly how it's laid out and you've gotten results, you're then going to want to iterate it a little bit to make it your own, make it fit you and your personality, because people are buying from you. What is it that separates you from the agency just down the road that can do the same exact thing for them? We've got to sell ourselves. We've got to sell our agencies. And so your ability to take these sales processes, to take any sales process that's working for someone else and make it your own, that is where consistency is found. That is where high levels of success are found. And so that is my hope, is that you can take this framework into your daily conversations with current customers, with prospects, and be more persuasive, be more convincing so you can sell more policies. So let's get into it. The setup for the sell. There are really two parts to this framework. There's not 10, there's just two. That's all you need to remember for this. So the first part is this. This is going to be the first 90% of your conversation. Practically the whole darn thing. Your first 90%, here's what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to gather information. You're going to want to get as much information that you can from this customer or prospect. You want to figure out what loans they have. Do they have mortgages? You want to figure out what current coverages they have, what they like about their company, and what they don't like. You're going to want to find out as much as you can about them, about their family. How many kids do they have? What do their kids do? What do they like to do, right? We talk about this conversation, and a lot of you, might think, oh, this is building form. Exactly, right? You're going to build a relationship with your customer. You're going to find common ground with them, connect with them. And I think this is big, especially in sales, because guys, if your mindset is, I'm just selling and I'm selling people and I'm selling, we've got to switch that. You're not selling. And if you feel like you're selling, your customers feel like you're selling them. It's very sleazy. People can see right through that. But so you're not selling them, we're helping people. I want you to remember that. We're not selling, we're helping. And if you truly feel that your products and the services that you offer can help your customers, the selling becomes so simple. We're just helping people. It's easy to help them in that way. But guys, the first 90%, we're going to want to gather information. Find out as much as you can about that customer, about that prospect, about their family, about their life, what they like, what they don't like, what their financial snapshot looks like. Because the more information you have, the more arrows in your quiver you have to make coverages make sense, to fill in gaps, holes, or concerns in people's financial futures. So gather information, find common ground, build a relationship, connect with people, build rapport. We've heard of those things. You're also going to want to paint a picture with the risks. As you're talking to your customers, you're going to identify some gaps, some holes in their financial future, some concerns. And what you'll want to do is you'll want that to help them experience those risks, experience those holes if something did happen. You want to paint that picture because when people are disturbed, they take action. So paint the picture with the risks. And again, going back to this, if you feel like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be that pushy person, I don't want to be that type of a salesperson, you've got to reevaluate your belief in what you do. You're helping people, you're not selling them. You're helping people, you're not selling them. And if you don't feel like your products or services are helping people, or you feel like your belief and your conviction in what you do is superficial, guess what? Your customers think it's superficial as well. The way that you communicate to them is the way that they're going to receive it. And so if you're on the fence about life insurance and you truly don't believe in it, you could read the script word for word, but the customer's going to look you in the eye, they're going to hear it in your voice, and they're going to know that you are not a believer. So if you are there, that's okay. That is okay. Guess what? You can develop a deeper belief in the products and services that you sell. And the easiest way to do that is to hear stories, get stories of how these products and services have blessed people's lives. Go talk to your agent, go talk to your leader, different team members, come join our community and hear how life insurance blesses people's lives and how it allows people to mourn and have space, to hear how disability insurance makes monthly payments for one of our customers when he was going through cancer treatments, and it allowed him and his family to stay in their home, and to hear how much that policy benefited them. It changes you. To be on the other end of a phone call when a family member calls in and they're absolutely devastated because they just lost a loved one, and to be able to say, hey, we have some help here financially, that changes you. But also on the flip side, you're on the other end of the phone call and you have to tell them they don't have any coverage in place, that also changes you. So if you feel that you don't have a belief, you're not convicted in the products that you sell, get around people and hear stories. Hear how the products and services that you are selling have helped so many people. That will strengthen your belief that will strengthen your conviction. And so we're going to gather info. We're going to find common ground. We're going to paint the picture with the risks. And then when we do that, we're going to sell our solutions to those risks. So if a customer has a mortgage on a home, the risk is if you pass away prematurely, this mortgage doesn't just disappear. Your family's going to have those mortgage payments. They still need a place to live. So the solution is I have a coverage that can pay off your mortgage. We are going to sell the solutions to the risks that our customers have in their life. Then we're going to explain to them how they will benefit. You know what, Colter? If you pass away prematurely, you didn't make it home tonight, this coverage is going to pay off your mortgage. That way you can have the peace of mind when you lay your head on the pillow tonight that your family will be taken care of. That way you can have peace of mind. That is the benefit that I will receive by having a life insurance policy to pay off the mortgage. Can you guys tell that I'm very passionate about this stuff? I've seen it change people's lives, and I take it seriously because I know the impact that we can have in our customers' lives. So we're going to want to explain how they will benefit, but then we're going to also want to explain how their family will benefit from this coverage. So back to that example, Colter gets a life insurance policy to pay off his mortgage. Colter's going to have peace of mind. What about his family? Well, his family is going to be able to stay in the home and they won't have to sell it out of necessity. His family is going to be able to, they're not going to have to tap into the savings account, potentially exhaust that just to make payments to stay in this home. That way they don't have to have their credit negatively affected. That is how the family will benefit. The family will have space to mourn for Colter's loss instead of having this added financial burden tacked onto that. So we're going to explain the benefits. Benefits sell. Every one of us is selfish in nature. What's in it for me? Write that down. What's in it for me? That is what our customers are thinking. We're not going to do things if we don't benefit from it. So tell them the benefits. And then one of the last things you're going to want to do in this first 90% is you're going to want to share stories of other people just like them in their same exact situation that have had experiences, whether they're positive in nature and that, look, so-and-so Joey, he was in the same situation. He actually purchased a life mortgage protection policy that paid off his home, right? And share that, how that helped that family. Or on the flip side, guess what? Joey didn't get a policy. And let me tell you how that ended up panned out for his family. Let me tell you what his family shared with us after that. Let me tell you what their life looked like after that. Telling stories about other people just like them that are in their exact same situation allows the customer to relate, to connect and see, oh my gosh, I need this. And so guys, that's the first 90. That is how we build value. Quick recap, gather info, find common ground, paint the picture of the risks, sell your solutions, explain the benefits that they will experience and the benefits that their family will experience, and then tell stories of other people just like them in their same exact situation and how it panned out for them. Now, once you've done that, think of all of this value that you've built on all of these things. Now it comes to the second part of this thinking framework, and it's the last 10%. What you're going to do here is you are going to simply collect the money. You are going to give them the price. You're going to give them the offer. Now I'm telling you, if you can get extremely good at the first 90% of the conversation and everything that we just talked about, you would have built so much value that when you give them the price, it's a no-brainer. They think, oh my gosh, you're saying I get all of that coverage for that price? That's when you know you've done a good job at your presentation. That's when you know you've done a good job at that first 90%, is when people do that. And now guess what? We always talk about, well, how can I get away from a price conversation and go towards more of a value conversation? Well, this is how. But I'll tell you, a lot of you team members, the moment that your customer or your prospect says, well, how much is that going to be? You're giving them the price. You're not allowing yourself to build value. You're not allowing yourself to have the best shot at winning and be able to give them all of these benefits and help them see the big picture and then giving the price, but you're just giving the price without having to do that. And so then it becomes a price conversation. So if you want to get away from the rat race of just selling off of price, use this framework. The first 90% is the most important part. That is where you build value. And so think of this and almost imagine, like, have I done these things in that first 90% before you give the price? You do not want to give the price until you've done that. Now you're probably wondering like, well, Colter, like, what do I do if they say like, hey, well, what's the price? Like, how do I answer that? How do I move through that and not make it weird? How can I be smooth with that? And the answer is this: just sidestep it. Say, you know what? I'll get to that, but I need to explain how all this stuff works first. I'll get to that price, but let me share this with you first. It's that simple. But don't give the price prematurely if you have not given yourself time to do all of those things to build value. So my hope is that after this episode, and when you hear you need to build value, you now have some things in your mind that you can check off to know that you've done that. Selling will become so much easier. And I think one of the biggest things that you need to reprogram your mind and think about is you're not a salesperson. You're not selling. You are serving people and you are helping them. And the biggest way to get and reprogram that in your mind is to further develop your belief and your conviction in the products and services that you sell. You matter. You are helping people protect their financial futures. What you do is very important. It does not go unnoticed. And I get it. It is hard to remember that when we're getting all these phone calls and we're getting all these rate increase calls and upset customers and we pitch life insurance and the customer declines us. And we pitch the short-term disability product and they decline us. And it seems like all we're doing is, like we're just hearing no. Guys, if that's been happening to you and you're a little defeated right now, hang in there. This is a testing time. This is a testing time. Just keep going. Know that, nothing is permanent in what we do, especially sales. Nothing is permanent. If you are in a time that's a testing time, when you're defeated and all you seem to hear is no, and you're struggling a little bit, know that that's going to end. There are better days ahead. That's not going to last forever. But on the flip side, if things are going really well, I want you to know that is not going to last forever. You need to show up every single day. Every day is a new day. You need to show up and start every day like it's the beginning, regardless of where you're at. Learn to not take the highs too high or the lows too low. Stay level-headed and commit to what you can control. Commit to continuing to just show up and make it happen and have these conversations with your customers. So guys, I appreciate you. I'm gonna sit down. I get pretty passionate about this stuff, but my hope is that you take something away from this. And guys, before I end, reach out to us at the Team Member Perspective. We'd love to have you. If you're serious and you want to upgrade your sales skills, learn how to communicate more effectively, be more persuasive, be more compelling, learn sales processes that are working for team members across the country, and just simply level up so you can make more money, get more fulfillment in your role, and get the agency that you want. If you're an agent, reach out to us. That's what we do. We are helping hundreds of agencies across the country. We are seeing team members go from 2 to 3 life apps a month to 10 to 12 consistently. And if they can do it, so can you. I appreciate every one of you, but please reach out to us and ask us a little bit more about what we do and see if it would be a good fit for you and your agency. Appreciate you guys. Go have a great day, and we will catch you next time.